Hey there. Welcome to Freedom by Design. Anywhere is possible through e-commerce. This is a Listing Studios podcast where we're going to flip the script on what work and freedom can look like. Have you ever dreamt of building a business that lets you do life your way? Whether it's traveling the world, spending more time with your people, or even saying goodbye to that boss of yours, then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Tina, global entrepreneur, e-commerce enthusiast, and your guide to turning your dreams into a reality that works for you. So go grab a coffee or wine. I'm not judging. Let's get comfy and let's talk about how to design a business and a life that you're obsessed with. Let's get started. You guys, welcome to the very first episode of Freedom by Design. Anywhere is possible through e-commerce. I'm Tina, your podcast host, and I am so thrilled that you're here. This podcast is a space where we explore how to build a life of financial and location freedom through e-commerce. My mission is to help you unlock the tools and mindset needed to create a business that supports the lifestyle that you've always dreamt of. Whether it's traveling the world, spending more time with loved ones, or just simply having the freedom to live life on your terms. Let's talk about something that we all face, and that's fear. And it often holds us back from pursuing our dreams. Whether it's fear of rejection, failing, or just not being good enough. These doubts, they creep in and they convince us to stay in our comfort zones. But here's the truth. If we let fear win, our dreams die before they even have a chance to grow. Don't you agree? And let's be real for a second here. Starting a podcast has been on my mind for a while, but I kept holding back. You know that little voice that keeps telling you, who's going to care about what I have to say? Or worse, what if I'm just not good enough? I've wrestled with this fear in so many areas of my life, even with listing studios. I sometimes find myself comparing our agency with others who are all over YouTube or constantly speaking on stages. And that little voice creeps in saying, why would someone choose us over them? When it came to this podcast, the doubts felt even louder. I scrolled through Spotify, see hundreds of podcasts in the business and e-commerce space, and I'm thinking, what could I possibly add to this conversation that hasn't already been said? That fear of blending into the noise was very paralyzing. But then I realized something important. No one has lived my journey. No one has my specific combination of experiences, insights, and lessons to share. And that is true for you too. If you're hesitating because you think that the e-commerce space is too crowded or you're not good enough, remember this, okay? Your story, your voice, and your perspective matter. Someone out there needs to hear it. The timing of this podcast couldn't be better. 2024 was a whirlwind of change, growth, and a lot of reflection. Had I started this podcast earlier, it might have gone in a completely different direction. I had to go through my own journey of rediscovery to realize what truly matters to me, and I want to share that with you. In the last 12 months, I've closed chapters that no longer served me and opened doors I didn't even know existed. I've learned that timing isn't just about when the world is ready for you, but rather it's about when you're ready to show up for yourself. So if you're feeling stuck or unsure of your next move, let me reassure you, you're just planting the seeds right now. But think about planting a seed or think about plants. While watering is essential for growth, overwatering can drown the roots and kill the plant. The same goes for your dreams, just like the plants. Over-consuming information without taking action can smother them before they even have a chance to grow. It's time to find balance and take a step forward, even if it's a small one. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew I couldn't keep living a life where my priorities were not my own. That's when the seed of change was planted. So, just to share a little bit about myself and my long journey to where I'm at today, in 2013, I took a leap of faith and bought my first franchise while I was still fully employed. It was terrifying, but it was also the first time I felt like I was taking control of my life for the most part. I also bought it for that reason, but there was another underlying reason that I'll share with you one of these days. But trust me, it's worth the wait. The success of that franchise led me to buy another franchise. And then this entrepreneurship spirit or addiction kicked in. And then I got into real estate investment where I purchased properties and I fixed them up and flipped them. And I went through a lot and learned a lot from that. And that too is a story for another day. Believe it or not, the real estate investment that I made in Mexico brought on less stress than the ones in Texas. I'm not sure I'd flip any more houses, but I sure did love the design part of it. I love being creative. Each step did teach me invaluable lessons: how to pivot, how to solve problems under pressure, and most importantly, how to keep moving forward even when fear tried to hold me back. But even with those successes, I found myself tied to a location and a schedule. It wasn't until I discovered e-commerce that I finally found the freedom that I was craving. E-commerce opened up the door to a lifestyle where I could work from anywhere, scale my business, and truly design a life that fits my priorities. And that's the vision I want to share with you, because if I can do it, so can you. Let's talk about freedom. For me, it's so much more than money. It's the ability to wake up and spend my day the way I want it, whether that means traveling to a new country, enjoying time with loved ones, or honestly, at this moment, savoring a quiet morning without the rush. What does freedom mean to you? Take a moment and reflect on that. Maybe for you, it's about financial security, more time with your family, or the flexibility to work on your terms. Whatever it is, hold on to that vision. It will be your North Star as we move forward. Here's an exercise. Grab a notebook and write down your vision of freedom. Don't hold back, dream big. If you could design your perfect day, what would it look like? Who would you spend it with? Where would you be? Keep this vision close because it's going to guide every decision you make on your journey. So, why e-commerce? Let me break it down. Accessibility. You don't need a huge upfront investment. When I started my first franchise, it cost over $200,000 before I could even open the doors. With e-commerce, you can start with a great product and a willingness to learn. Scalability. Unlike traditional businesses, an e-commerce store isn't limited by location or hours. You can sell to customers around the world 24/7. Flexibility. Whether you're at home, like I am now, or on a beach where I was last week, or in a Parisian cafe where I'm going to be in 2 weeks, you can run your business from anywhere. And by the time this episode comes out, I will actually probably be in Paris. But let me share a quick story about my first e-commerce experience. I remember launching my first Shopify store in 2018 and waking up to my first sale. It was from a friend. Thank you, Amy. But I didn't care. I was so happy. It wasn't a big sell, but it was proof that this model worked. That pivotal moment showed me the potential of e-commerce, and it set me on a path to where I am today. At that time, I chose the fulfilled by merchant model because it aligned with my business goals. And we'll talk some more about the different types of models that you could choose from. But this required me, though, to be around to manage inventory and oversee team members physically, which tethered me to a specific location. While it was rewarding, I've since learned so much about how e-commerce can adapt to different lifestyles. Today, the digital landscape offers countless opportunities, from digital products like planners, journals, ebooks, to print-on-demand solutions, all of which have become much easier to manage compared to when I first started. These options now provide even greater flexibility for creators and for entrepreneurs. Before we dive into the next steps, let's reflect on what's possible. Remember how I mentioned that pivotal moment when I woke up to my first sale? That sale didn't just represent income, it represented the potential for something greater, a life designed on my terms. If you've ever dreamt of that kind of freedom, the first step is simpler than you think. If you're ready to start your journey, here's where to begin. Define your vision. What kind of freedom are you seeking? Write it down. Explore your passions. What skills or interests can you turn into a product? I've seen this happen over and over again with my clients. Identify your audience. Who do you want to serve? Think about their needs and how you can meet them. When I started my e-commerce brand, my audience were people who had a passion for travel, or maybe they were travel addicts just like me. So they were my audience, and I designed my brand around them. Research your platforms. Look into e-commerce platforms like Amazon, Shopify, Wix. Again, we'll dive deeper into what all of the available platforms are and what might work for you. Lastly, start small. Don't wait for perfection. Take one step a day, whether it's brainstorming product ideas or setting up a basic store. But here's the tip. Don't overthink your first step. It doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe you research a niche, set up a simple website, or jot down product ideas. Action creates momentum, and momentum is what will keep you moving forward. I hope today's episode has inspired you to take that first step toward building a life of financial and location freedom. This podcast is here to guide you every step of the way. In future episodes, we'll dive deeper into topics like choosing the right products or scaling your business and crafting a brand that truly resonates with your audience. Here's a sneak peek to next week's episode. We're going to explore the biggest myths about starting an e-commerce business and how to overcome them. If you've ever thought, I don't have time or money to start, then you don't want to miss this. If you're ready to take action, hit subscribe and join me next week. Your journey to freedom starts now, and I'll be with you every step of the way. Thank you for letting me share this space with you. And remember, the life you want is within reach. You just have to take that first step. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you're feeling inspired and you're ready to take the next step towards building a business and a life that truly excites you. If you loved this episode, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who could use a little extra motivation today. Don't forget to connect with me on social media or check out our website at listingstudios.com. Check out the resources mentioned in this episode, and you'll find all the details in the show notes. Until next time, keep dreaming big, taking action, and designing the life that you deserve. Remember, Anywhere is possible through e-commerce. I'll catch you in the next episode.